Mazda's CEO has just declared war against the entire EV industry. They think making long-range EVs is a stupid idea, and that the whole EV push is a political agenda for profit. In a world where electric vehicles, EVs, are hailed as the future of automotive technology, Mazda's top executives are boldly swimming against the current, declaring their allegiance to internal combustion engines, or ICEs. Today, I'll tell you about the controversial statements and actions of Mazda's top executives, exploring their staunch opposition to the EV push. We'll unravel the truth behind their claims and analyze whether Mazda is a lone warrior in a losing battle or a visionary rebel against the EV revolution. I have a problem with the fact that they've, the politicians, decided how to get there, and that it's only electric. You're really going to just discard everything else, even the stuff you don't know exists yet? I think that is a disgrace to the politicians. That's not their job. Their job is to demand a zero-emission future, but how you get there should rely on entrepreneurship and creativity. These were the exact words of Mazda European CEO Martin ten Brink. He has openly criticized the 2035 ban on sales of new combustion engine cars, calling it a disgrace of the politicians. He believes that the lawmakers are stifling innovation and creativity by imposing such restrictions. Mazda's executives are not just against the concept of EVs, but are actively advocating for the development and enhancement of combustion engines. Barring the CX-90, Mazda does not have many promising EVs just yet, especially seeing how far their competition has come. They also believe that their new rotary engine technology will obliterate the EV industry, but I'll get to that in a minute. Robert Davis, a Mazda executive, has even stated that the impending death of the internal combustion engine is overrated and governments shouldn't mandate EVs. He has also called for the elimination of EV incentives, claiming that the industry should find the best way to meet clean air standards without governmental interference. The efficiency of ICE engines is a major point of contention, with their total thermal efficiency ranging between 20 and 30%, while electric motors boast efficiencies of around 90% and above. However, Mazda's executives argue that the overall efficiency of EVs is not as superior as it seems when considering the long tailpipe of electricity generation and transmission. They claim that the emissions from EVs are merely displaced, not eliminated. You see, they tell you about the clean and green EVs, but no one talks about the mineral depletion in the dark mines of Bolivia to get lithium for these batteries. Plus, your EV is only as clean as the power grid you're getting it from. As of now, nearly 1/3 of the states in the USA use coal and other non-renewable sources for electricity. Mazda's CEO also believes that the $7,500 tax credit and all EV mandates are just a clever tactic by the government to lure you into this grand scheme and put ICE engine vehicles at a disadvantage. This stance is reflective of Mazda's deep-rooted opposition to EVs. Mazda's execs also play on the public's fear around the disposal of lithium-ion batteries, claiming them to be environmentally hazardous. However, unlike lead-acid batteries used in gasoline-powered vehicles, lithium-ion batteries are generally not considered hazardous waste, and most of their elements are safe for incinerators and landfills. The argument that EV batteries can't be recycled as easily as other batteries is debunked by the fact that companies like Tesla are planning to incorporate battery recycling in their gigafactories. That said, we're still seeing many cases of EVs catching fire, but this should slowly improve as the technology advances. Mazda's execs argue that EVs do not have zero emissions, but remote emissions or displaced emissions. The pollution from EVs is simply shifted from the tailpipe to the smokestack. Mazda's opposition to compliance cars is based on the argument that it's nonsensical to force manufacturers to lose money on some models just to meet a regulatory hurdle. However, companies like Tesla, whose cars comply with ZEV regulations, manage to maintain high automotive gross margins, debunking Mazda's claim. CEO Jeffrey Guyton has sparked controversy by challenging the prevailing notion that long-range electric vehicles are the future of sustainable transportation. Guyton's skepticism about the sustainability of long-range EVs comes amid a global shift toward electric mobility, with Mazda's MX-30 offering a mere 100 miles of range, appearing as a stark outlier in the market. He has openly expressed his disbelief in the sustainability of long-range EVs, stating that most people won't frequently utilize the full range of their EVs. He argues that the public's desire for electric cars with 300 miles of range is not sustainable in the long run. Guyton's perspective is that people are accustomed to the convenience of gasoline cars, which offer the freedom to travel long distances without worrying about range or infrastructure. Nearly 80% of car owners have an average run under 40 miles in the USA. As people own more EVs, they will adapt their needs and priorities to suit their vehicles, realizing that they don't need as much range as they initially thought. Guyton anticipates that advancements in charging technology and the expansion of public charging infrastructure will further alleviate range concerns. Not just this, but their CEO also said that as batteries and related materials become scarcer, the production of such long-range EVs will not be sustainable. The prices will continue to go up and the middle class will suffer. He fears that the industry might revert to producing plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, or PHEVs, or traditional hybrids, which still emit tailpipe emissions as a solution. Studies show that the average American covers around 40 miles a day, suggesting that even the Mazda MX-30, with its poor 100-mile range, should suffice for the daily needs of most drivers. Mazda's stance on EV range is aligned with the views of Mazda Europe's CEO, who stated, "What I find a shame is that we have made a choice for technology, and usually the most innovation comes when you set a goal, but you don't tell engineers and developers how to get there." While these arguments about the impracticality of heavy battery packs and the scarcity of battery materials are valid, the automotive world is divided on whether Mazda's conservative approach to EV range is visionary or outdated. Mazda, a brand traditionally slow in the electrification race, has unveiled a substantial $10.6 billion investment plan aimed at electrifying its vehicle lineup, reflecting a strategic shift in response to global environmental regulations and market demands. This move is coupled with the innovative reintroduction of the rotary engine as a range extender for their electric vehicles. Mazda has revised its electric vehicle sales target to constitute up to 40% of its total global sales by 2030, a substantial increase from its previous target of 25%. This adjustment is in sync with industry predictions, with Deloitte expecting EV sales to constitute about 32% of total new car sales globally by 2030. Mazda plans to introduce battery EV models between 2025 and 2027, with a full-scale launch of fully electric vehicles slated for between 2028 and 2030. The company is also exploring collaborations with electric component makers and has reached a supply agreement with battery maker Envision, AESC, for the period between 2025 and 2027. The company plans to introduce new hybrid systems and improve the efficiency of internal combustion engines alongside its electrification effort. Mazda is working with 7 companies, including Ram Company, to develop and produce electric drive units. Now, onto the biggest news. Mazda is repurposing its iconic rotary engine as a range extender for the Mazda MX-30, a compact electric SUV. This innovative approach allows the rotary engine to generate electricity to replenish the batteries, running at the ideal load speed at all times for optimal efficiency. This move marks the return of the rotary engine to Mazda's production line for the first time in 11 years, offering a total of 373 miles with a full tank and a full charge, 53 of those being all electric. Despite the strategic shift towards electrification, Mazda is currently focusing on models like the CX-90 in North America, which has been well received by the market. However, Mazda acknowledges the need to concentrate on electrification in North America and is in talks with Panasonic for battery supplies. The company's substantial investments and revised sales targets underscore its commitment to electrification, with the full press ramp-up expected around 2028. While the MX-30 e-Skyactiv REV is currently not committed for launch in the States, Mazda's emphasis on electrification and the brand's global sales projections for electric vehicles suggest that it could eventually make its way to North America. Mazda's continuous interest and new patents in the rotary engine as an EV booster indicate a sustained belief in its potential in the evolving automotive landscape. Mazda is standing as a lone warrior in the battlefield against the EV revolution, with its swords drawn and shields raised. Is this a battle of David versus Goliath? Or is this the last stand of an old guard refusing to embrace the future? Only time will tell whether combustion is truly king, or if Mazda will eventually have to bow to the electric empire. What do you think about Mazda's stance against the EV industry? Do you believe in the future of combustion engines, or do you think Mazda is fighting a losing battle? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more automotive insights.